Hello from nowhere. I am Kurt the Gardener. And if you're hanging out with me and you've come by to visit for a few minutes of your time today, I do so much appreciate it with all the things that we are so incredibly capable of in this lifetime. And of all the things we can do and out of all the things that we can make, we can never make more time. Once we've used it, it's gone. And if you're giving me a few minutes of yours today, I do so much appreciate it. Today I'm going to be talking about conscious equality of the spiritual variety. So if you're curious what I mean and what that means, stick around. It's incredible. When I say it's incredible, you better believe it, because I am not easily impressed. Therefore, when I am impressed, it surely is over something incredible. I have a fascination with human beings, which is an extension of my ego through a desire. And that desire is to answer questions. I have a fixation on not just answering questions, but understanding the question in all angles of the question, such as what is the nature of the question asked? Where does the question come from exactly? Why even ask the question? How does the question work? What is the point of the answer exactly? What effect does that answer to the question have on the external world and earth? These kinds of things are what run loose through my mind. Now, I was not brought up and raised with the idea of looking down on, or looking up to for that matter, other people. However, most other people were. And I found this to be true and so, or else I would not say that, because their behavior and words have indicated so much. I have found that my misunderstandings with dealing with other people in this life have stemmed from the simple fact I never took into consideration why someone acted a certain way, being they simply looked down on certain aspects and things of another human being. I wondered a lot, how is it that people could see another human being and think that person, because of their job and anything else so minuscule, was anything but another human being worthy of the essentials of this existence, such as food, shelter, and water. I realized that the missing puzzle piece had been there the entire time. People have simply been taught something I was not taught. Therefore, they understood this where I did not, until I had encountered it enough to understand the behavior and the reasoning behind it. They simply, the other people, they simply were taught how and to look down upon, and also to look up at others. I'm going to make an example of how this lesson is taught to children and where it all begins. It starts from an adult, and it doesn't have to be from the parents. It can be from really any adult the child hears something like this from. If you don't try hard enough, you'll end up scrubbing toilets. If you fail at school, you'll end up flipping hamburgers. If you don't do exactly what all forms of authority tell you, and you don't bend your knee, and you don't live in oppressive submission to the will of domineering, tyrannical assholes of people, you will certainly end up under a bridge, homeless, hungry, and dying from disease. And I can say this in many worse ways, but the example stands. This lesson has had all kinds of awful, horrendous repercussions on society and human beings. Now, I'm going to make this clear, and it is always up to whoever hears or reads my words to make up their own mind. I want it to always be known I am not here to tell you what to think, but what I think. I do not know the complete blueprint or schematic for the pathway to a not perfect, but more pleasant and thus a better by definition world to live in. However, I do know the first brick in that pathway is this. Understand no one is lesser than you and no one is better than you, but also have common sense about it in this way. You can still think for a split second that the person that cuts you off in traffic is an asshole, because you are a human, not a machine, and to think you will never think a negative thought is absolutely foolish. But you can think no one is lesser or greater than you, because I have done it for 33 years now, rather out of ignorance or otherwise. And literally up until a few seconds ago, I understood this lesson, that is 100% a curse being placed upon people by frustrated, well-intentioned people. I have drawn and illustrated the lesson of consciousness as flowing through everyone and everything. Many people have interpreted this lesson incorrectly because I wasn't the first to come up with this concept in truth. I was just one of the newest people to understand it and realize it. I will now reiterate this lesson and teach it once again in an effort to clarify what universal consciousness is exactly. These words, energy, spirit, soul, consciousness, life, aura, auric field, all have the same context and meaning in a very direct and important way. I will use the term energy for simplicity. Energy flows through us and all around us, and it is universal. That means the same energy that is in me is in you, and that same energy in us is in the trees, the animals, the plants, the birds and the bees, the flowers, and everything else, including your car and electrical system in your home. Heat waves, for example, are a very visible way to see this phenomenon, because what is heat but thermal energy? The word thermal being irrelevant, because at its essence it is energy. Therefore, the heat waves are energy waves. Let us see it as spiritual Wi-Fi also. As I said, I was not the first to realize this. Perhaps it was someone in the East, perhaps ancient tribes of North America. But I do know this, that my spirit shall not abide in humans forever, for they are flesh. Their days shall be 120 years, Genesis 6:3. What I have just typed and written and said here is 100% what it means. Genesis 6:3 is a confirmation of the conceptual truth that is universal consciousness, or spiritual Wi-Fi, what have you. It is also written that God breathed into us the breath of life. Electrons are at the essence of this. Nothing lives, moves, or animates without electrons, electricity, energy, life, spirit, soul, consciousness. Now I have to clarify something many people have misunderstood about this conceptual truth over time. They believe that because the Spirit of God is within us, that makes them God, and that is not correct or true. That is a misunderstanding at its best and a deceptive act of malice intent at worst. A popular phrase concerning this that has been born from the misunderstanding is this: we are all God, but we are not God, we merely have God in us. We did not originate this energy, nor did we create it. Therefore, we cannot be God. What lies at the source, as far as I know at this moment in time, until I stand corrected or have new revelations and new mysteries unraveled to me and revealed to me, whatever is at the source of this, it must surely be God. Once more, and very importantly, is this: because the Spirit of God, spiritual Wi-Fi, connects all of us by simply running through all of us. And everything, we are all the same, and we are all one in the Spirit. These physical bodies will die. Within them is our ego. The ego is all which separates us, the children of God, from realizing the simple truth: no one is lesser or greater than another, and no one is all that different either. That is the lesson for today, ladies and gentlemen. So listen to me. I'm going to give you a pro tip. Do not walk through this life thinking the cashier at McDonald's or the janitor or the millionaire or the billionaire alike are different. Walk through life with the simple understanding that we are all the same. Walk through life in realization that no one should go without the three basics: food, shelter, and water. If the game must be played upon this earth called wealth acquisition, then at least have the love of yourself and decency for yourself, not to make another child of God go without the three basics, because at the end of the day, we are all one and one in the same. Because the same Spirit of God that courses through me, it surely courses through you, because it is written. And guys, that's all I have to say for today. If you stuck with me through that, I so much do thank you for your time and your patience. I stumble a little bit, but I do appreciate you visiting with me. I enjoy our time together, and I hope you enjoy it too. And I'm Kurt the Gardener, and as always, you are always welcome in nowhere.